Okay. All right, I have 6 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and call to order the City Council regular meeting for Monday, March 23rd, 2026. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a roll call, please?
Mayor King,
Here.
Councilwoman Niner, here. Councilwoman Matern, here. Councilwoman Emo, here. Councilwoman Huber, here.
Quorum being present. Before we approve the agenda, I would like a motion to amend the agenda. Item number 8 is listed as Resolution 26-13. It's a resolution, City of Pleasant Hill, Missouri, adopting a policy to hold 15% of the operating expenditures in the city's annual operating budget and reserves. There is a Scrivener's error. The actual resolution is 26-16, not 13.
Mayor, it's actually bill number 26-16.
Well, you just got all of that, didn't you?
Sorry.
All right. So it would be bill number 26-16. Do I have a motion to amend the agenda with that correction on bill 26-16?
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda from resolution 2613 to bill 2616.
I second.
Motion and a second. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Niner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Matern, yes. Councilwoman Emo,
Here.
Councilwoman Huber.
Yes, it is.
Still works. All right. With the amended budget, do I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as amended. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained. If council's had an opportunity to review the consent agenda, are there any objections to the consent agenda as presented? Hearing no objections, it is approved by unanimous consent. All right, this time we will open for public comment. If you would like to address council this evening about something not on the agenda, please step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and limit your comments to 3 minutes, please.
My name is Don Donovan. I live at 709 Pine Street. I first want to apologize because I am speaking on something that is on the agenda. However, we are in the middle of our tech week for the Theatrical Guild's play, and I do not believe that I will be able to be here when you talk about item number 10, the temporary off-premise sign discussion. So, with that being said, what I'd like to do is I would like to plead to the council to please look at amending that ordinance. And the reason being is because it affects a lot of our not-for-profits and organizations in town. As the sign law stands with the off-premise signs being forbidden, it means that the community theater cannot put signs out in anywhere other than where the actual show is going to be held, which stops us from being able to tell people about our shows. It's going to stop the VFW from being able to advertise their breakfast. It's going to stop the show choirs from being able to advertise for their Trail of Terror. It's going to stop the seniors from being able to have their pictures on 7 Highway. I don't think that we gave it enough consideration of all the different things that we use these signs for out in the public that are off premise. I wish we would have had a town hall to discuss some of the different changes ahead of time. I wish we would have but we didn't, and so here we are. I want to thank you for the 60-day moratorium, and so that way we were able to get our signs out to help promote the Theatrical Guild's play. We've kind of started wearing shirts to help promote it because, quick pitch, phtg.org, you can get your tickets online. Or at the door, we're at the Methodist Church. But yes, I know I'm not gonna be here when you get to it, again, I just, please allow the signs.
Thank you.
Robert McKinley, I live at 1515 Lexington. From Massey Street all the way to the circle on BV, there are no stop signs at all on any of those intersections. There are people that run the stop sign at Massey, they're going 50, 60 miles an hour through there. Because there's no signs and there's nobody to do anything about it. And also, there's no parking this side of the street, just for that section where the duplexes are, where people are gonna need to park in the street so they can unload and load when they're moving in or out. That's the only place in town that has those signs. I want to know if we can get stop signs put and some speed limit signs on Lexington before some little kid gets run over.
From where to where again?
Massey Street all the way to BB, there's no stop signs at all.
You mean Mathis?
That might be what it is, they're by Klein's.
Yeah, Mathis, I got you.
It's like,
So those are all, those are all things we can do. They require an ordinance, to change an ordinance to do that. So that is a discussion we can have, okay?
I appreciate it.
Do you have anything else with that?
No, not that I can think of now.
Hey, I have your email. Can I get your phone number so we can make sure we get a hold of you?
915 831 9399.
If you don't hear from somebody, we don't get that, okay?
All right, appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
John Self, 205 South Campbell. Completely unrelated, but related. There's not a stop sign on Cedar right here at Boardman. So anybody making a left onto Boardman is pulling out in front of traffic that's headed north on Boardman. And I just realized that it may be by design, it may be intentional, but I was going to point that out if they were going to look at that.
Thank you. Anyone else? First item for consideration tonight is a special events application for cruise nights.
Hey, sir, it's me over here. It's me most of the night, sorry guys. So we received an application for cruise night, so this is an event held on the third Friday of each month, starting in May and runs through October. It does not include July. The event utilizes Gazebo Park, Hall Street, Boardman Street, Depot Drive, and Wyoming to First Streets. The applicant is requesting that street closures begin at 4:30 for those streets mentioned, and the use of city barricades at the intersections as previously provided by the city.
No changes at all from the previous years? No. Anything you want to add, sir?
We think it's a great, I think it's a great city event and stuff. It's well attended and it promotes our historic district, plus it promotes Pleasant Hill. We draw lots of people from other cities and stuff to come to it. And it's just a good family-friendly event. Any questions?
Any questions on this event from council?
Do we have approval from all of the businesses?
I do not from the new barber shop and stuff, because I can't forget you.
Okay.
But hopefully that.
I don't think it'd be a problem, I just thought I'd ask.
Mayor, can I add, this would require a reservation of the gazebo, and in years past, we've just allowed use of that, so it will require that reservation.
Okay. You guys are aware of that, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
and I'm assuming it's what you said, 20, the normal is 45 and it'll be half of that.
Yes,
Correct?
that's perfect.
But,
See, there was a change from last year.
There was.
Anything from council? Do I have a motion on the special event? Oh, before I do that, does anyone else want to speak on this application before we do it? Do I have a motion concerning special events application for cruise nights?
I'll make a motion to approve the special events application for cruise night.
I'll second.
Motion is second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Passes. Next is a special events application for the senior parade.
Thank you, sir. So the city has received an application for project graduation to hold the 2026 senior parade on Sunday, May 6th, 2026, starting at 6 p.m. The parade is set to start at the Recreation Complex. It will head west on Broadway, cross 7 Highway, continue along Broadway or Pine Street to the downtown area, cross the tracks at First Street, come up First Street back to Paul, to Veterans or Lake Street, turn left there, and then down to Myrtle Street and back to the high school. Or, I'm sorry, not the high school, the middle school.
I have a couple corrections on that. Sunday the 3rd, not the 6th.
Did I say the 6th? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's okay. And, yeah, and at the middle school,
Yes.
because immediately following would be the senior sunset right there at Eklund Field. So we're planning on that. Ending the parade there and going right to the stadium.
Any questions for this gentleman?
Do we have approval from ODOT since we're crossing 7 Highway?
That was gonna be my question. So I would recommend approval of this with the contingency that we get MoDOT's approval.
MoDOT made it very clear that they need approval for these things in the future. That came up last year, year before, if I'm correct.
We need to contact them.
And well, if you want, connect with me and I'll help you through that process. It's not hard, it's just we did it the first time.
Okay.
We had never done that before, and they asked that we
Kind of
start doing
smacked
it.
our hand.
Yes, they did.
Kind of hard.
Good to know.
Alright. Any questions? Do I have a motion concerning, does anybody from the public want to speak on this special event?
I actually have a question. Is there any restrictions on how the parade is conducted, like who's driving, who's riding?
Chief will get with all those details for you, because yes, there is.
Okay.
There's a list.
Okay.
Alright, do I have a motion?
Well, do we have, I mean, are we saying that are we saying that there's a restriction on who can drive?
Yes.
Because 1 year seniors drove, 1 year only adults could drive, is that right?
That's how it's been the last couple of years.
Which one?
So adults.
Adults.
Yes,
And
sir.
no trailers.
Right,
Right, Tommy?
Yes,
And no trailers.
No trailers.
Okay.
I say, that's been the last couple of years,
We had it.
after we had a couple problems. Alright, do I have a motion on special events application for the senior parade?
I'll make a motion to approve the special events application for the senior parade.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Passes.
Yep.
Next item is Bill 26-11, an ordinance approving the rezoning application for 16002 South Harris Road from Cass County Ag to Suburban Neighborhood District R1.
That is me. We're going to just a second. I've got a presentation coming up here. Hopefully.
Guess I need to start making that.
Maybe. There it is. Okay. Okay, ready? So this is an application presented by Steve Zahn for the rezoning of the recently incorporated into city limits address at 16002 South Harris Road. This is to rezone to R1 or suburban neighborhood district. The area, the lot in question is shown in red here on the map. This property, again, was recently annexed into the city limits of Pleasant Hill. The zoning classification was previously designated by Cass County as agricultural. The parcel does not meet the standards for the same classification or agricultural classification and requires the rezoning application. The proposed zoning amendment aligns with the future land use map plan as shown. This was heard before planning and zoning, March 3rd? Yes, sorry, March 3rd, in a public hearing where they recommended approval of the rezoning as presented.
Questions concerning this rezoning? Any question from the public on this?
Can I just talk really loud? Carla Murray, 300 North Campbell Street, Pleasant Hill. What are the zones around that lot that's being rezoned?
They're agricultural.
So they'll remain agricultural, this will only be the only one that's an R1?
That is correct.
See any other comments? Do I have a motion on Bill 26-11, an ordinance approving the rezoning application for 16002 South Harris Road from Cass County Ag to Suburban Neighborhood District R1?
I'll make a motion to approve Bill 26-11, an ordinance approving the rezoning application for 16002 South Harris Road from Cass County agricultural to suburban neighborhood district.
I'll second.
A motion and second on Bill 26-11. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilwoman Niner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Matern,
Yes.
Councilwoman Emo,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dewar.
Yes.
Bill passes. Next item is Bill 26-12, a resolution approving a conditional use permit for 400 South First Street, Pleasant Hill, Missouri, to allow the property to be used as a recreational facility and restaurant/sports bar for a period of 10 years.
Thank you, sir. So this is commonly known as Hits and Misses at 400 South First Street. This is, again, a conditional use permit for the continuation of an expired special use permit for a recreational facility and a restaurant and sports bar. So the special use permit was previously granted to Mr. Rydell in 2016 and expired on February 8th, 2026. The permit allowed for the use as a recreational facility and a restaurant. The requesting conditional use will allow the previous use to continue. So there is no change from previous special use permits. The Planning and Zoning Commission again did hear this before a public hearing on March 3rd and recommended approval with the caveat that the permit be valid for 10 years from the date of approval.
So my question is this: what is it zoned?
M1,
Or would it have to be zoned to?
C1.
Well, I'm not opposed to conditional use permits, but at some point, does it not need to be rezoned and continuing just to allow a conditional use?
That is up to the applicant and your determination.
What's an M1?
Light industrial.
So I'm asking out of ignorance, I guess, but why would we give them a conditional for 10 years? That seems a little excessive to me.
That is what Planning and Zoning recommended. The applicant did not request a time period. That was what the previous application or special use permit was for as well, was for 10 years. There was a previous application by a different property owner for the same thing that, again, was for 10 years prior to that.
Could he get it rezoned?
He could apply for rezoning, yes.
Okay.
And I did ask that in the planning and zoning meeting. He wasn't aware that that was an option.
Does any council have any other questions? I'm still thinking.
Well, just doing the special permit, I guess, is what he's asking. I
Conditional
mean,
use.
conditional use, is that because it won't pass what'd you say, it had to be a C1?
C1. It could pass the C1, it most likely meets all of those standards, it hasn't been reviewed against that zoning requirements. So, I mean, there is that possibility. This is just because there was a special use previously that just recently expired, he was requesting to extend that special use permit that was already in effect. The applicant is here if you have questions.
What's north of, what's the lot just north of it?
On the other side of the tracks,
Well,
oh, I'm sorry, the other way?
I'm just talking about
There's-
closer to town, whichever
Yeah,
direction.
so there's a mixture of zonings along that area. There are some that are C2, there is an area that is still M1 down there. There's also an adjacent that's an R1 district.
Mr. Idell, do you want to speak on this?
I'm not opposed to turning it into C1. I just, since my permit's expired since February, it's really hindered me from being able to operate any business in there now. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to if we could get this approved here, reviewing that and then turning it into rezoning, if that's something you'd like to see.
I just don't want a continued conditional use permit on it. I would rather see it rezoned than it not have to do this.
If I got it rezoned, if I could get approval on this to go ahead and move forward with operating a business in there now, could I go ahead and take the steps that needs to be done to get it? And then if you approved it to go to C1, it would just discard the special, or the conditional permit.
Is that what it would do?
Yes.
Okay. That's all the questions I have.
I don't know.
I asked mine in planning and zoning.
Is it gonna stay a restaurant?
That's the intent, that's the intent for it.
I'm excited, I wanna make sure.
How long, Missy, how long does it take for a project like that to rezone it? How long would that process take?
It's just a matter of when the application is received and when it's heard before planning and zoning, so it follows the same steps as a conditional use permit.
Okay.
So it could, as minimal as 6 weeks.
What's the cost associated on my part?
I'm not sure. But there's an application.
I'm not worried about the fee of this.
Yeah.
If I've got to get it all surveyed.
Yeah, no, it's strictly a zoning application.
Okay. Fair enough.
Mr. Idell, it's not personal. There are I don't know, businesses in the county that are looking to circumvent the rezoning process by doing conditional use. I know you were not. But I'm a little touchy about that, so. Do I have if there's no other questions, anyone from the public like to speak? All right. Do I have a motion on Bill 26-12?
I'll make a motion. Bill 2612, a resolution approving a conditional use permit for 400 South First Street, Pleasant Hill, Missouri, to allow the property to be used as a recreational facility and restaurant sports bar for a period of 10 years.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but I know there's already a motion, but are we approving the 10 years or?
Let's get past this first, then we'll get to discussion, okay? Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, have a second. Now we can have discussion.
Perfect. Well, are we approving for the whole 10 years, or do we want to approve for a year to let him have a chance to rezone it?
Right now, the motion is to do 10 years. I mean, me personally, I don't have a big issue with that as long as we're working towards the other. So,
But
we have a
that means that
motion.
he might not ever work towards it.
You're right.
For 10 years.
So if you guys want to change it, then
I I think we should change it to at least 3 years because we want it changed to a C1. Otherwise, he's just operating on a conditional, or whatever it's called. Is that what it's called, a conditional?
Conditional use permit.
Conditional use permit.
With a motion and a second, do we need to kill this one before we then do that?
Yes.
Okay. So if you want to do less time, then we need to kill this motion. We need to vote it down and then we can make a new
Well,
motion.
we have a,
Okay,
I
we'll
was
vote it
gonna say,
down.
we have,
We have a motion
We have a motion.
and then a
we have a
second.
motion,
We have to vote.
So we have to act on that motion in a second. So just give us a minute. Just go ahead and do a roll call real quick.
Councilwoman Niner,
No.
Councilwoman Matern,
No.
Councilwoman Emo,
No.
Councilwoman Doomer.
No.
Okay. Do I have a motion to amend the previous bill?
I'll make a motion to amend Bill 2612, a resolution approving a conditional use permit for 400 South First Street, Pleasant Hill, Missouri, to allow the property to be used as a recreational facility and restaurant sports bar for a period of 3 years.
Do I have a second on the amended motion?
I'll make a second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second on the amended Bill 26-12 for it to be a period of 3 years.
Mayor, one moment, can I ask, I was busy writing, who was the motion and who was the second?
That was the motion.
Brenda
Brenda
was
was
the
the
second.
second.
Man, we made that way more complicated than it needed to be.
Yes, we did. Sorry.
When you're ready, do a roll call, please.
Councilwoman Niner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Matern,
Yes.
Councilwoman Emo,
Yes.
Councilwoman Doomer.
Yes.
All right. We just change it to a 3-year, work on that, and then we're out of the mess of that. So I think 3 years is more than enough, right? If you have a problem, let us know, we can figure it out, okay?
Yep.
All right, outstanding. That was a long way around this. Item number 8 is the amended Bill 20, from the agenda, Bill 26-16, a resolution of the City of Pleasant Hill, Missouri, adopting a policy to hold 15% of operating expenditures in the city's annual operating budget in reserves.
Okay, I'll take that one. So a little background information, the city currently maintains a fund balance policy establishing a minimum fund balance level of 8% of annual operating expenses. During the fiscal year 2027 budget workshop, City Council expressed an interest in amending this policy to increase the fund balance level to 15%. This policy will apply to the city's major operating funds, including the general fund, transportation fund, parks fund, public health fund, and enterprise fund. Increasing the minimum reserve level better positions the city to be financially secure during emergencies, unexpected revenue shortfalls, and economic downturns. All the major operating funds, aside from the water sewer fund, currently show a fund balance above this level in the upcoming fiscal year 27 budget. So this policy change does not create an immediate fiscal impact, but will guide future budget developments to ensure we keep fund balance levels maintained at or above the 15% of annual operating expenditures. So staff does recommend bill number 2616, resolution 26-16. To adopt a policy to hold 15% of operating expenditures in the city's annual operating budget and reserves.
Any questions from council?
What happens if we go under the 15%? If this gets approved?
We shouldn't go under the 15% in those operating funds. I
Okay.
mean, water sewer right now is under that, but our goal is after we get our water rate study, the plan, we will not go under the 15% for those funds.
The trigger is we would have to make a decision to do that instead of just where it is, yes.
Correct, because let's say if there was some sort of emergency situation, that's what we're holding that money for. So we would need to be able to dip into that for an emergency, but then the policy would require us to bring it back up to that 15%. It's really for our budgeting practices, to make sure we're budgeting at that level.
Is there a time limit that we have to get it back up if it goes under the 15%?
Not in this policy, but we could add something like that if you're interested.
What I have seen in other organizations is if they dip below they make that a concerted decision to do that with most of the time a 3-year period to get it back, is what I've seen, is a lot of freeze. So, I mean, that would be something we can do as well.
If you wanted to add something like that to this, I would ask some time to go back and review the GFOA best practices, just to make sure that we're not hamstringing ourselves. I would just like a little bit of time if we're gonna add something like that to research it a bit.
We can add that later. Any other questions from council? Anyone from the public like to make comment on this bill before council takes action? All right, do I have a motion on Bill 26-16, a resolution, is it a resolution or ordinance?
It'll be a proposed resolution.
Okay,
It says 2613 on here.
yeah, that's what we amended.
Oh,
When we
okay,
started
that's the
council.
amended one. Okay,
Yep.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't missed.
A resolution of the City of Pleasant Hill, Missouri adopting a policy to hold 15% of operating expenditures in the city's annual operating budget and reserves.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution,
Bill number.
bill number 2616, a resolution of the City of Pleasant Hill, Missouri adopting a policy to hold 15% of the operating expenditures in the city's annual operating budget and reserves.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second on Bill 26-16, a resolution of the City of Pleasant Hill, Missouri, adopting a policy to hold 15% of operating expenditures in the city's annual operating budget and reserves. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilwoman Niner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Matern,
As is, no.
Councilwoman Emo,
No.
Councilwoman Doomer.
Yes.
Mayor Key,
Yes. Can we look at that and get it amended fairly quickly?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is the fiscal year 2027 budget adoption. The budget presented before us is the work of countless hours of staff preparation, council work sessions, and we've been difficult decisions for both staff and council. On March 18th, council had a work session, and we discussed really one item pretty in depth. And at that time, council made I'm gonna say a decision. It was their consensus to move forward with keeping an excavator in the budget that would be bought over a 5-year period. The excavator is for the Parks Department. I think staff leaving that meeting felt pretty strongly that council was struggling with that decision. I know a lot of people had questions and they were for it, against it, then for it again, and it's just not an easy decision. And with that said, before we proceed with the budget, I would like council to have an opportunity to have that discussion again on the excavator out of the capital expenditures. And I will start with Michelle, because I know you were very strong against it. No, you were very strong against it. I want to give you the first opportunity to speak on it.
Well, can I read something?
Go ahead.
All right, here we go. I came here this evening to actually just vote no on this upcoming budget, just because I believe with the deficit we're looking at, we should truly be saving money at this time. And I understand that we do have a healthy fund balance. I understand that we do have the money to cover the things that each department wants. But the key word is wants. I feel like these are a lot of wants. I also do not like the idea of expecting the new price chopper to be our saving grace for Pleasant Hill's future either. The items that I fully support are the outside weather warnings. I support wholeheartedly each of the studies that will finally get the economic committee started. Something I have brought up in private conversations and have gotten dismissed. Something I truly regret is not bringing that conversation here to the bench right here, where everybody can hear what I had to say, where the transparency begins. People of Pleasant Hill have been screaming transparency, and it's not that I have not wanted to give it, I just truly did not understand how to. And with talks of this budget, I finally am ready to, and I understand what needs to happen. I was not gonna have an issue telling the citizens of my thoughts tonight. I have told my fellow councilwomen and the mayor, I wanted to have these talks, just like we're having tonight, right here, tonight, in front of everybody. Some of the responses I've gotten when I said that were, it would be less drama, and I don't want a 3 to 4 hour council meeting. We're not here to make the government and our decisions easy. We're here to make sure we spend our citizens' tax dollars appropriately and wisely. We're here to do the right thing. I want the people to know I want full transparency, and I tell you what and how I am thinking. And to the next person who is sitting in the seat, Kathy, Claire, whoever that is, I want you guys to do the same thing. Do it here, the 2nd and 4th Mondays. This is where it matters. And with that said, I will not pass the budget with the excavator, and I really am iffy about the second side-by-side also.
Okay.
And the mayor, you go ahead.
Well, as the mayor knows, I have a lot of reservation about the budget as well. Overall, I think, Kristen, I applaud you tremendously. You got hired, you had to jump right in and do a budget right off the get-go without knowing 100% what needed to be done. I agree a lot with what Michelle said. I don't feel like that we need a third excavator. And I was a little back and forth on it, and I finally came to a full, after I did a little bit of research, a lot of research, I'll put it that way, on the excavator. I fully believe we don't need an excavator. I'm not sold on the ATV. I'm not even 100% sold on the drone, but I do believe that we need the sirens. I believe that that saves people's lives, and that's where we need to be spending our money. But my real thought is we need to put a moratorium on the capital improvements and give you time to wrap your head around the budget. But I will say yes to the budget as long as we take the excavator out of it.
Jackie?
I'm for the new excavator. Oops, guess I could just.
There you
go. Because we have people here that are working, they're out there in the field working, and they know what we need. They know that a lot better than I do. And I think we need to do the extra.
Brenda?
I was one that was on the fence back and forth a few times. I don't know, it's way the pendulum swung, is I'm gonna vote no on the excavator. It's, to me, reserving $20,000 for 5 years, that's the part I'm having trouble with, because we don't know what next year looks like. We know that some things are going to change, and I want to make sure that we have the funds to take care of what we need to in the future.
One of the things that Kristen brought up and I thought was at least an excellent consideration is when we approve the budget, even removing the excavator, if we get later in the year and it is just creating a negative impact for both departments trying to move it back and forth and share it, we can make budget amendments as we go throughout the year to make that change if we need to. We may decide that it's not needed at all in the next year, but I think that that's just one of those things we can do. As far as spending money, I believe that there is a need for some more funding in the sirens. We're replacing one this year. It's not feasible in this budget to go out and replace all the sirens. The other is we would never want to go out and do a mass replacement of something like that, because what it does is it creates a massive funding issue later on of trying to replace them because they all age the same. So having a system where we can replace a few at a time, I think that removing the excavator, basically that money will go back, will stay in the capital expenses side of the budget, the reserves. Once we see what the actual replacement cost is for the first emergency warning system, that savings might be able to go to repair of another siren, possibly buy another one, kind of like we did with hydrants. I don't know, some of those are obsolete. We might be able to scavenge some of those parts for some of the other ones that are obsolete to make repairs. So if the consensus is to remove the excavator, is that what we're going to do? Yes?
I think we should remove the excavator. I mean,
Is that the only thing?
This is what we're discussing at the moment.
Excavator, yes, I would say remove the excavator.
I will say this, I'm sure there are other things that we can look at, and we can tonight. It is government at every level. What economics will tell you is when we're down in an economic downturn, which we are on the revenue side, we're talking about capital side, not revenue. The revenue side is facing some downturn. And what you have in those is counter-cyclical economic policies, meaning we have to maintain balance in getting repairs and maintaining the system and spending money to spur some economic growth. Economic upturns are what got us to this point of having money in the capital. So just letting it sit there and letting the system deteriorate. Again, I remind everybody that is how we got here to where we had to spend money on parks and water systems and buildings, because the city was never in a good position and we always waited for better days. Next year will be a better year to spend money. Next year will be a better year to spend money. And that is how we got here. And so I am pretty adamant on we have to maintain what we have. And we have to continue progressing on the revenue side, the capital expenses side, the fund balance, or we're just going to create and wreak havoc for future councils when we have to do more geo bonds to fix the water system, to fix parks, pools, anything else. So we'll go the other direction this time. Brenda, we'll start with you. Is there anything you want to discuss also on the budget?
The only other thing that I was questioning was the extra UTV. I just don't know if we actually need to, but the rest of it was acceptable to me.
Jackie?
I think we should get the excavator.
Okay. Pat?
well, there's 3 big ticket items on here that I think that we could probably do without for a year. That's the excavator, the ATV, and UTV, sorry. And I can't find it in here, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find it. But there's a vehicle replacement for Public Works.
Why did that go up?
Why did what?
Why did the lease for the cars? That was a question I did look at. I mean, it's most likely inflation.
Yeah. And cost of vehicles.
But I thought we had reduced 2 vehicles, so I was expecting it to go down.
We are reducing 1 vehicle for sure.
Okay.
And then with you guys approving that vehicle for Public Works, it would be a transfer over to vehicle replacement from capital improvement sales tax. I just have all the lease payments come out of Fund 72, the vehicle replacement program.
So Public Works is needing a vehicle because why?
Kristen, do you want Tony to answer?
Yes. Yes, please.
Sorry, I should have looked at you, I apologize.
We are looking at replacing the 2008 flatbed F550 that pulls around our equipment. We could get by another year, I will say that. It would take some repairs and some.
It's a 2008?
Yes.
Oh, I'll retract that then.
Yes.
I didn't realize it was that old, so.
And while we're talking about the fleet, I know we're getting rid of the Expedition. Is there another possible? I thought there was 2 that we could have gotten rid of at one time.
We'll have to, I don't remember exactly. I know
Okay.
that Expedition was 1 for sure, but.
And on a side note, when I pointed, Jessica, I do mean you too, if you're in this seat, sorry.
I think that's one.
It was Carlos that hit. She's my friend.
Kristen, is it okay if either or both Tony and Chief speak about the UTV and sharing it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Your guys' thoughts?
I made my recommendation. You guys do what you want.
How often do you use it, Chief, right?
In emergency situations on the trail, at the fair, downtown events. It's not often, but it's nice to have, and it'd be terrible for it to be locked in Tony's garage, and Tony needs one as often as we do, maybe more often.
Yeah, and that was my question. How often do you need it, Tony, for leaks and?
Really, we don't use it for leaks. We use it for a project when we were doing all of our GPSing and all of our lead pits. That was the biggest thing that we used it for. So we kept it quite a bit, and we're borrowing it quite a bit from the police department. If we were to have that one, if they were to get another one, we would use it for locates, just as a small additional vehicle, just for running parts, doing this and that. It probably wouldn't be, I would say it probably wouldn't be used a lot, but we would use it some.
I could possibly leave the UTV on there because it is a one-time 20,000 versus. I'm sorry, Jack. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's that I have a hard time because we don't know what the future holds. We don't know what's going to happen.
What was the cost of the UTV, Chief? Do you remember?
We requested 20,000.
Yeah. I'm like Michelle, I could live with that one.
Wherever you guys would like.
I would make a motion to approve the budget with the exception, with the caveat of removing the Expedition. Is that covered?
Excavator.
Good gravy, I'm not eating dinner.
Okay,
With
so
removing the excavator.
Can we squeeze a public comment for this one?
she made a motion. We have to act on the motion.
Okay.
Once it's on the floor, we have to act on it. Do I have a second for the motion?
She said to remove.
To remove the excavator, to approve the budget as presented, removing the excavator.
I'll second.
Okay. Have a motion, a second. It's not appropriate, it's not proper. Is there any other discussion from council?
No, I think I've said what I needed to say.
All right, I will allow public comment. It's not proper. It's not the right rules. So everybody can go on social media and say how I broke the rules. I'll go ahead and allow public comment. Go ahead.
Kathy Gilbert, 608 North Taylor. Jeff got rid of 2 pieces of equipment for $55,000 that would pay for half of one excavator. Remind me where that money went.
That money went into the Parks Fund this year and will sit in that fund balance.
Okay. So, my question is.
You already had a question.
I only get one question.
Go ahead.
So, he's gotten rid of 2 pieces of equipment and not getting one. He's got to borrow one from Tony that's a few years old, and then we've got one that may or may not work. So we're really down to 1, not 2. If you think of it in layman's terms. If that makes sense.
Yep. Thank you. Anyone else?
Dr. Zachary Patterson, 402 Whisper. One question I had from last week after kind of thinking about the presentation that was made, I want to understand a little bit better how our income from the balances that we keep in reserves that are invested, how did that go down by about half?
Just interest rates.
Interest rates have gone down 0.75%. So,
Amy, I don't know.
So we had, a couple years ago, we had lump sum payments from the Dogwood repayments that were.
that counts as investment income?
Well, they're in our bank and they are getting accrued interest on, yes, in our bank.
Yeah, so you're accruing interest on a balance, so
Yes.
how does it go down by half?
Well, our balance in that account has gone down with expenses going up and our revenues going down the last 2 years. Our revenues have not increased year to year, they've gone down. And our expenses have kept going up. So yes, our balance in our cash bank account has gone down. So the interest at that bank is what, 3.35? And it was about 4.1 or 4.5 for the last year till the feds kept the interest rate.
So that explains 30%. Why is it 50%?
Well, I'd have to look, I don't know that.
Didn't the pilot payments run out?
Yeah, and we don't have, yes.
We don't have pilot payments anymore. Those right now.
But how is that investment income? That's money that was coming to you regardless.
So that money comes into the account she explained, okay? We do get interest rates on some of our accounts.
Yeah.
Now, if you wanna jot down exactly what you're asking, we can get you an answer.
Okay, well, I'm sure when the final budget is approved, we'll let them look at it and it'll make
Right.
sense, but that was one question I had.
Okay. Carla, I know you were getting up.
Yeah, I just have a quick question, and I don't have a copy. I would look if I had a copy of the budget, but what is the total budget, not individual funds, the total budget when you get all said and done at the end of the day, what deficit are we approving to run? What's the dollar amount?
Mayor, you'll have to let me know if you want us to answer these questions on the fly or if you want.
I would rather we get them a correct answer than a fly and it's not right. Okay? So we will get you that answer,
So you're
okay?
gonna pass the budget, we don't know that answer. Okay, thank you.
John?
I just wanted to say thank you to Brenda, Jackie, Pat, Michelle, Kristen, everybody on city staff, and Mayor King too. You guys are asking the right questions. People are seeing the transparency, and we really, really like it. We're very happy. And I think, not that my opinion matters, I think you guys are doing a great job with this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
JW Haynes, 2003 Redwood Circle. Again, thank you guys. And I know that it's been stated that the council never dug into these budget issues as deep as you guys have. That's a falsehood. We've done it for years, and that's part of the reason the fund balance is going to bail us out of where we're at right now. So there's been a lot of discussion and a lot of things cut, a lot of planning made years in advance to get us to where we're at today and being able to get out of the situation. My whole thing, I think you're going to have a hard time passing the budget tonight with all these amendments and different things going on. But next year we'll come up on the 50th anniversary of the 1977 tornado. I also work all over the country going to disasters, and then the Red Cross coordinator here in town. The tornado sirens are absolutely 100% vital to the city. We got weather alerts, we got phone alerts, all the different things. Everybody needs a weather radio. I can list you the whole way to get prepared. But the elderly and different people, and myself included, depend on the tornado sirens. So as you look at the budget, when we can say take this and take that, it doesn't make any difference whenever you're looking at something like a tornado siren not being functional. So I hope that you take a minute and look at where your budget's going. If we're going to, if you're going to pass it tonight, then really consider any of those extras going into that tornado siren.
Thank you.
Mayor, I have an answer to the question about the deficit
Go ahead.
spending. So on the combined summary of all funds, on the last column, it shows the total net change in fund balances of $2,258,271. I will note that $732,833 of that is in the GO bond fund, where we don't show proceeds coming in since we collected those all up front. So that amount, that $730,000 of that deficit is from the GO bond, but $2.2 million is that net change in fund balances on the combined summary.
All right, thank you. All right, I have a motion on the floor. We have a second. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilwoman Niner?
Yes.
Councilwoman Matern?
Yes.
Councilwoman Emo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Huber?
Yes.
All right, item passes. Next item tonight is a temporary off-premise sign discussion. Hey, Don, we got there. You didn't have to. You want to talk again?
I told them I would be back at 7 o'clock, and
You're late.
I'm gonna be late.
I'm gonna be late too.
It'll be quick. So in March, on March 2nd, you guys placed a moratorium on all organizational event signs for us to not enforce those signs and to allow those. Planning and zoning, obviously, Michelle was involved in some of those discussions too. There was a long, lengthy discussions about off-premise signs. In the end, we had to refer back to legal counsel multiple times just for clarification again. According to legal counsel, signage is regulated by Supreme Court rulings. That signage can only be regulated, can generally be regulated by time, place, and manner, but cannot be regulated by content of sign. So what that means is if we have to read the sign to determine if it meets or doesn't meet our code, we can't regulate by that. So again, I did reach out to our legal staff, and they did confirm that as well. So what I would like to propose as a possible solution here is that we keep with the the prohibition of permanent off-premise signs. We allow for temporary off-premise signs with an approved permit, no fee, that you come in and apply for a permit like you would with any other sign to show us how many signs you're gonna put out and the general locations of where they will be. They will still have to meet all of the temporary sign regulations currently set forth in Article 9.05E of the enforced UDC. And this will allow those to occur so it would be, those regulations set a time limit, so 120 calendar days per year per organization, a size limit which is 3 or 6 square feet, and they still have to meet those same regulations that any other temporary sign would, which is outside of the right of way, outside of the site triangle. So that's what I would like to propose as an amendment to planning and zoning in April for further discussion. If you guys have any comments on that, please let me know.
So the moratorium that we have right now for them, they don't have to have a permit.
That is correct.
And correct me, Don, if I'm not saying this correctly, but right now you could go put your sign anywhere you want with the moratorium we have.
Well, apparently, anybody can put any sign anywhere they want right now, because
Okay.
the signs are all over the place.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we only did the moratorium for how long?
60 days. So we have a little bit of time.
Okay.
So are you then gonna come back with,
So what has to happen is we do have to do a public hearing before planning and zoning.
Okay.
And I told you guys that I could have that back to you guys in May. So if you choose to wait, it will just prolong that area. And in the meantime, the moratorium will expire and we will have to enforce all offenses.
Or we extend the moratorium
Or you
until.
can-
yeah.
That's
I
correct.
said just
So I will
have
say
to move forward.
off-premise signs don't only apply to the community events, they apply to all of those window washing signs. The garage sale signs are also considered off-premise signs.
I know, and I don't like the idea that somebody having a garage sale is gonna have to come fill out a permit to put up a garage
Yeah.
sale sign.
I mean, we have the ability, I believe, we could maybe do it in online form, where they can submit
Even
it
still, how
here.
many people are going
And
to
there's no-
actually do that?
Here's the thing, on a garage sale, ain't nobody out there pulling signs on Saturday and Sunday.
I almost would like us to extend the moratorium for maybe 45, 60 more days to us I haven't eaten dinner, so I'm not, my words are not, for us to really do some,
The biggest hiccup here
look at this
is
better.
we cannot say these signs are okay, but these people can't put out temporary signs. That is the hiccup, which is always been local government. You can't tell some people yes and some people no on a temporary sign. And people will put signs out, take them down and put them back out to where they're almost permanent signs. So we've got to figure out that wording with the legal of how that works, correct?
I'm sorry.
For temporary
For
signs.
temporary signs, so currently, in the current UDC, it does allow for temporary signs to be placed. So the display time for temporary signs, shall be 120 days per sign per calendar year, regardless of size or number of signs displayed.
For temporary.
For temporary signs. So there's already a limit of how many days that a sign can be displayed for.
Consecutive or for the whole year?
But what about off-premise?
120 days per calendar year.
Okay.
So,
But off-premise is the problem.
correct. So my proposal is that temporary off-premise signs be permitted as a temporary sign, and they have to meet these other regulations that are already set forth.
But what you're gonna have is all these window companies and everybody else are gonna also fall in that.
But it will also give us the jurisdiction as well, like if you require a permit for those signs, they don't have a permit, we can pull them no matter where their location is.
Can you deny the permit?
If it doesn't meet regulations or they exceeded the temporary
Like
sign.
for the window guys.
No.
No, because then we're regulating off of content.
Yeah. We will find a path.
And that's the problem with the
I
planning
don't know
and
what it
zoning
is.
had, they did not want the,
I
we
mean,
buy ugly houses signs all over.
Correct.
So,
I mean, Harrisonville has a sign law as well.
Yes.
I mean, they allow, like, we never had a problem with our theater signs being pulled from Harrisonville. Raymore's got a, like, I guess my ask is, can we look at what other communities are doing and try to do something similar, so that way we're not trying to reinvent the wheel or throw the baby out with the bathwater by not letting anybody put signs out just because we're trying to limit certain things from being out there on signs.
We will keep the moratorium going to not pull them, and then we will figure it out.
I appreciate your time today.
Yep.
Mayor, is your intent to have us put that on the agenda to vote on the moratorium at the next meeting?
Yes. Just so that they have time, so we can get through how we write the language. And part of it might be just further discussions with legal as well. I mean,
So do
they
you,
have opposed some things that we've said and finally found a way.
do you want Missy to move forward with her idea to planning and zoning, or would you like us to?
I have no idea what just happened. Sorry. I don't know.
It's everybody with their phones tonight. Is that what you want? You want Missy to move forward?
No, I would, no, I don't want her to move forward. I mean,
Like to create what this will be. If you're gonna bring it before council as a change to the code, it has to be, that work has to start.
okay, yeah, that's fine.
Are you guys okay with that?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's start that process, let's see what we can figure out.
Okay.
I'm sure there is a path forward somewhere on how we word it. And here's the thing, any city that has a policy on how they do things, and I don't know, Harrisonville may just not collect those up. They may just turn the other way. I don't know. Every city can have a policy until someone challenges it and you can no longer have that policy. And that is true of all policies. They're legal until someone challenges it and says, you can't do this anymore. And I don't know what theirs are. We can look at theirs. They may not even have a policy. And they may, I know Raymore has had problems with theirs, with their signs, because there's a huge sign in Raymore that says, F you and your sign rules. So I know that they have sign problems.
We don't want that.
No, we don't need that, but that sign exists. So, all right, any other discussion? Did that answer your questions on that?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, John?
Are we in public comment, or?
If you want to comment on this, I mean,
I
I
was
didn't make a
curious
decision.
What the criteria for a permit would be, like what would disqualify a permit from being issued?
We don't know that yet.
Okay.
That would have to be
Fair
part of the guideline we wrote.
Fair enough.
So, just we need more permits. All right, anything else? Anything else on it? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, we're adjourned.